Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Yachts here, and it is Tuesday, and we're going to play the Celtics at Scotiabank Arena tonight for the second game in a row against the defending champion Boston Celtics. And, well, the game tonight is likely there's going to be a little bit different of a Celtics team showing up, but maybe not. I can't really tell you for sure. In some ways, I could see Joe Mazzulla doing two things, either coming correct with Tatum and Brown and those guys, maybe half of them, maybe one or two of them, maybe all of them sitting out once again, just because you know what? In some ways, they proved that they could beat the Raptors without having any of their top seven rotation. And so why would they worry about having those guys back if they feel like they could probably beat us again tonight on our home court? So I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. There's no distinctive news about whether the Celtics are going to decide to sit their guys again. I could say they probably will play them because they want to keep gearing them up. And there's been no overt signal that they are shelving them for the rest of the preseason. Some teams are doing this already. Some teams have shelved top stars for the rest of the preseason already, like the Sixers with Joel Embiid. And also we had to do that with RJ Barrett. So in some ways, it could very well be that they're like, yeah, we're good. This is our last preseason game. And you guys can just rest up for the regular season. We saw enough already in Abu Dhabi and also in the other two games that we played since against Sixers and the Raptors. So I can't tell you who is going to show up for the Celtics in their starting lineup tonight because there's no clear information about this. So I think it's probably likely we will see some of those guys that didn't play on Sunday, but there's very much a 50% chance that we won't, and it'll be the exact same Celtics team we played on Sunday. So we'll have to see. On our side of things, it's a little bit more clear. We understand kind of what the Raptors are doing. It's looking like right now RJ is out for sure. Bruce Brown is out for sure. Jacoby Walter is out for sure. And then Manuel Quickley and Kelly Olynyk are both day-to-day. So it could very well be that IQ or Kelly show up for the game tonight. I'd be nice to see one of them. I mean, I understand why Kelly wouldn't be playing in preseason as much as Garrett Temple's not playing in preseason so much either. Because these guys are vets, they're older. They've been through the grind. They understand how to prep and get ready for the season. The youngsters, in some ways, the most important thing about preseason is figure out who's going to make our roster and getting our youngsters more time out there and more experience in their very, very young careers. So, our priorities, our to-do list is very, very, very different than a team like the Celtics who are coming into a season trying to defend their title. So for us, it's basically let's get some more looks at the rookies. Let's get some more time under their feet with them running around on the court. So I don't know. It'd be nice to see Emmanuel show up tonight, but it's more likely that he'll hold out one more and he'll show up for the game on Friday against the Nets in Brooklyn. That is more likely that it's going to be like that. Now, Kelly could show up tonight. I don't know. Kelly could show up tonight, maybe. But yeah, hopefully Scotty's playing. Scotty, if you chicken out and you don't play against the Celtics in the second game, man, that's not going to look good, especially since you look so bad on Sunday. So in some ways, Scott, you need to come out and do way better than you did on Sunday. In some ways, you should have some things to prove today. You should have some things to prove. Regardless of which version of the Celtics show up today, you should be out there with something to prove tonight, Scotty Barnes. Seriously. Oh, my gosh. Now, here we go. Let's do the ref report real quick. I don't understand this, but, I guess the Raptors got to see the big-time refs in the beginning of the preseason because tonight our crew chief is Scott Foster. Scott Foster will be refereeing the game for us tonight as the crew chief. He is in his 30th season out of Silver Spring, Maryland. His favorite TV show is Ozark. He likes the movie Braveheart. He likes to listen to Michael Franti and Spearhead. His favorite book is Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. He likes Maryland blue crabs and corn on the cob as his favorite meal. His favorite app is PGA Tour Live. He most like to visit Italy, and his bucket list is to win the U.S. Open Pickleball Championship. And his hidden talent, he's a body surfer. Yeah, we know about Scott Foster. Scott Foster is an old friend of Tim Donaghy. And it's always good to remind people that Scott Foster was the person that Tim Donaghy, who was betting on the NBA, was calling every single day, all the time, at halftime during games he was playing. So Scott Foster, in some ways, is the most crooked ref in the league because he probably is gambling and doing some degenerate organized crime shit on the side in the secret in the dark. In some ways, people would be saying, "Oh no, you're selling his good name, Lex." No, it's just too apparent to me as far as things. And David Stern let Tim Donaghy be the fall guy, and he protected people like Scott Foster. I still feel like Scott Foster's got the goods on the NBA, so he keeps his job and keeps doing what he's doing because he knows he will fuck them over and he will rat them all out for all kinds of corruption underneath if they tried to take him down. So I feel like that's what's going on with Scott Foster. Seriously. Now, he is the worst ref for the Raptors today, obviously. We have a losing percentage of winning with him. We win 45% of our games in the history of Scott Foster refereeing the Raptors. In the whole entire 30 years of the Raptors' history, we win 45% of our games. Meanwhile, the Celtics win 55%. And that's actually not a very high percentage for things, although the Celtics have had really bad years in the last 30 years also, where they have been very bad. So it's 45 to 55, the split with Scott Foster for the Celtics. The second ref is Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith is actually a pretty decent ref for the Raptors. He's in his 8th season. He was born on September 11th, y'all. He's out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. So he's one of these Philadelphia referee mafia guys. Scott Foster is too, just by the way. Favorite TV show is Top Boy. He likes the movie Shawshank Redemption. His favorite musician is John Legend. He likes the book Unbroken. He'll eat anything for a meal from breakfast. He really loves breakfast, so he'll eat breakfast anytime. His favorite app is Peloton. He'd most like to visit Thailand and Vietnam, and his bucket list is to compete on Jeopardy. That's actually kind of cool. That's very, very cool. Aaron Smith graduated from Westchester University in 2010 with a bachelor's degree in history. At Westchester, he played 1 season of varsity basketball. So Aaron Smith is a basketball player from college. Very, very cool. Now, we win 55% of our games with Aaron Smith, which is not a bad percentage. Meanwhile, the Celtics are his favored team. Out of all the teams in the NBA, they have the highest win percentage with Aaron Smith at 76%. So it's 55 to 76 for the Celtics with the middle ref, Aaron Smith. The third ref is Matt Myers. Matt Myers is in his 6th season out of St. Louis, Missouri. His favorite TV show is The Wire. He likes the Shawshank Redemption. He likes to listen to Jay-Z. Favorite book, A Promised Land. His favorite meal, buffalo wings. He likes to play Words with Friends. He'd most like to visit Bora Bora and attend the Masters is on his bucket list. And his hidden talent is golf. I don't know if that's a hidden talent. Either you play golf or you don't. And if you're good at it, that's great. But there's a lot of people out there that are good at golf. So I don't know if that's that hidden, especially if you're out in the open and you're carrying a golf bag. Hey, what's that? It's my hidden talent, golf. That's not very hidden. You're on a golf course with a golf bag. Yeah, that's what I say right there. His other interests include photography, golf, and pickleball. So we got some pickleball refs today with Scott Foster and Matt Myers. Now, Matt Myers is the best ref for the Raptors today. We win 2 out of 3 of our games whenever we play with him around. So it's 67% win percentage and just slightly above that for the Celtics, 70%. So just slightly favoring the Celtics in this game with Matt Myers. The 67 to 70 is the split on Matt Myers. But yeah, all 3 refs favor the Celtics, and Scott Foster is the crew chief, y'all. So that's all you need to know right there. So yeah, there's your ref report. Yeah, we get the infamous, probably number 1 worst ref in the league, Scott Foster. I love Tony Brothers. I hate Scott Foster. That's just how it is with me. Tony Brothers, you're great. You're a great ref. Scott Foster, you're crooked as fuck, and I don't understand how the NBA continues to have you employed. That's what I say about that. So there's your ref report. You know, the under refs, the 2 refs, Aaron Smith and Matt Myers, are actually pretty good refs for the Raptors. So they may look out for us tonight on our home court. So Aaron Smith has been very good to the Raptors at times in the past. And Matt Myers is not a bad ref at all. He's a young ref too. But you know what? Both those guys have looked out for us at certain times. So it's actually a way better ref crew than the one we saw in Boston. It really is in some ways. So yeah, there's your ref report and your latest lineup news right there. Kareem Thomas is first in the chat today. Let's see what Butt Dialer has to say this morning. Final cut in 6 days. Not sure who's on the brink, but I get really irritated with Bruno. Sorry, I know the first comment is usually inspiring, but so I'll just say, don't be an asshole. People don't like shit. It's all good, Kareem. And I don't worry about this. I know Trevor's usually in here with his words of wisdom right of the way. I'm really kind of annoyed with Bruno Fernando also. Like, I feel like you're getting an opportunity here. In some ways, it's a privilege to play in the NBA. You need to take that opportunity and run with it and go as far as you can. I know it's easier said than done, but man, Bruno Fernando, you really got to make a strong impression to make this team. Your contract is not guaranteed. And if you want to be guaranteed for this season, well, time is running out and there's only a few preseason games left, and you have to make an impact. In some ways, your impact, once again, I'll say it, is rebounding. You need to get as many rebounds as possible. You should be getting like double-digit rebounds in all these games we've been playing because we've been playing against smaller opponents in most cases here, and you are not. You're getting out-rebounded by forwards and guards, and you are a center, my man. And so that is annoying me too, Kareem. I'm not going to lie. And maybe we'll talk about it on the Thursday think tank. We'll have the final cuts for the roster, and we'll do a think tank on what we think should happen. So maybe you'd be calling me on Thursday, and you could tell me in person what you think over the phone. Nako's saying the Kings traded 5 seconds just so we could give Sasha Venchenkoff $0. Yeah, it's very interesting what happened yesterday. Jalen McDaniels was traded once again to the Spurs. And the Spurs got there was like a second-round pick involved in it or something like that. Well, the Spurs immediately waived Jalen McDaniels, and he is out of the league now. That's what I'm telling you. You're not serious about your career. You're not being proactive. You're just kind of bump on the log. You're talented. You have an NBA body. You have a brother who's very good in the NBA. Doesn't mean you're going to be good in the NBA if you ain't fucking doing the work yourself. You ain't putting in the shit to do. Because honestly, he was a total bust for the Raptors last season. He had a lot of potential. He has a crazy good NBA body, but he's just, I don't know what's wrong with him. It's like he doesn't have something going on up here to motivate him to go even further. It's like, I don't know. He's not his brother. That's for damn sure. He's not Jaden McDaniels. And it's crazy how one letter could just have so much difference. So now his brother is like a defensive, a known guy for defense and a starter for the Timberwolves, a playoff team. And meanwhile, his brother, who honestly is older than him, is about to fall out of the league right now. And it's crazy. And I'll bet you part of it is work ethic. Part of it is motivation. Part of it is how much he takes his life seriously. And, well, there you go. In some ways, we'll never forget Jalen McDaniels getting traded by the Raptors. Somebody telling him in his reaction, he was like, man, he's just out to lunch. And it's too bad. It's too bad because there is a lot of potential in his physical body, if not in the spirit of him. So, yeah, it's crazy. Once again, we can look at what happened this summer with the Venchenkoff, Davion Mitchell trade with Sacramento coming to here. And wow, Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster are badasses. That they got Jamal Shed, Davion Mitchell, and they managed to strong-arm Venchenkoff out of his contract, did not have to pay him anything. Yeah, we got a good front office. And what was that from? A guy who just got flipped to the Spurs for nothing, hardly. And they're just losing nothing for that. So in some ways, what the Kings wanted was to get money off their books. And that's the most important thing on this. And in some ways, the Spurs do too. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting stuff. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Phipps back in the chat with us. Always good to see Raptor Freaks come back at the beginning of the season. Let's see what he's saying right here. He's saying Eddie on the Raptors would have been crazy, but Silver ain't wanting that. Yeah, I don't know if it's Silver. In some ways, look, I mean, I know if we were going to get Zach Edey, we couldn't have done that trade to get Jakob. Because if we were going to draft Zach, it would have had to been in that draft pick that we lost to the Spurs. But I'm okay with this. In some ways, once again, yeah, Zach looks real good. Zach looks like he is going to be a great NBA player. That all this talk about him being too slow, all this talk about this or that was absolute convoluted bullshit to cover up just how powerful and badass he could be. And I'm loving this because honestly, it's good for Team Canada and it's good for our young Toronto guy. And in some ways, look, Zach, go ahead and unleash yourself on this league. In some ways, I like the Grizzlies. And in some ways, you playing for the old Vancouver team is kind of cool. And, I'm not going to hate on this. And we can't have every player in the league, Tristan. It would have been nice to see him in a Raptors fit. But you know what? Down the road, it could happen. So let's not say never. And hope, and maybe we'll see Big Zach wearing the Raptors red at some point. RJ did. When RJ got drafted by the Knicks, I was like, damn, he should be in Toronto. Well, just a little bit of time passed by. And who knows? Maybe Zach Edey does come home. Because in some ways, look, you can look at Zach Edey and say, This guy, if he ever wants to go home and play for home, he would come to Toronto. And it may very well be that he does have a dream, just like RJ Barrett or Kelly Olynyk, to play for his hometown team at some point. So it's not like he's on a list that's saying, yeah, I'd never play in Canada. No, he's from here. Of course he can come back here. So let's see him young years develop with the Grizzlies. And who knows? Maybe down the road, he's coming to join our team down the road, Tristan. So yeah, that's never say never. Never say never. Now, talking about home teams. Yeah, I did go back and watch the half-hour speech by Vince Carter at the Hall of Fame induction on Sunday night. And, he took some shots at us. He did. But I think he did a very good job overall. He ordered his speech very, very well. And he left the Raptors for last. He went back in time with all the teams he played for and thanked everybody. And he thanked the most people when he did the part when he thanked the Raptors. And yeah, there was a lot of interesting stuff. Of course, he did call the Orlando Magic his home team. That he felt, I felt so good to come and play for Orlando Magic, my home team. Yeah, see, I knew that all along in some ways. Like you and Tracy think of Orlando as your home team. And when you guys went to play for them after the Raptors, it felt better for you because you're like back at home. Yeah, I get that. There were a couple of shots at us in different ways. I actually really like how Vince talked to the fans in his speech. I saw that part. And he said, fans that love me, thank you. And he's like, somebody said, I love you, Vince. And the crowd was like, yeah, yeah. And then he said, the fans that don't like me, I want all and everybody to know that either way, it was an honor to play for you, is what he said. And you know what? That actually went a long way with me because in some ways he was declaring, yeah, I understand there's people like Lex that don't like me, that are still feeling some feelings because of the things and how they ended in Toronto. But he wanted to come around and say, even if you don't like me, it was an honor to get the privilege to play in front of you and to sky for you and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? That's a classy way of handling that. That's a classy way. In some ways, he's not apologizing, but he's saying that either way, if you hated me or you loved me, it was still an honor to play for you. And that you know what? That went a long way for me. Now, he did allude to how much hate he has in Toronto. He's thanking his family, and he's thanking a very special aunt who came to Toronto to watch him play for the Nets against us the first time. And she was saying, yeah, you're such a real one, Auntie. You wanted to fight 19,800 people in Toronto when I came back as a New Jersey Net. And he's like, and she's like, yeah, you were awesome. Yeah, I'll bet his aunt was in the crowd talking trash to everybody in there as they booed the hell out of her nephew. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. And there were a couple other allusions to different things, like the coach's carousel's comment. And there was another thing he did that was kind of weird in the whole comments and stuff like that, but I don't remember right now. Now, he did thank Nav Bhatia, and when they showed Nav in the crowd, they caught Bob Myers behind him fucking laughing about it. Yeah, Bob Myers, you're a piece of shit. You fucking own a former GM of the Golden State Warriors who's on NBC or whatever channel. I think he's on ESPN. He's an analyst now. You're a fucking piece of shit. You're part of the fucking toxic ass ownership group that was in Golden State before. People like that guy, the owner that pushed Kyle Lowry in the front row during the finals. You're a piece of shit. And it's obvious you hate the Raptors because when Vince recognized our super fan, Nav Bhatia, you were sitting behind him laughing about it. Like you were a fucking frat boy, piece of shit, bully, fuck face. Yeah, fuck you, Bob Myers. We saw you behind Nav when Vince was giving kudos to our super fan, and you thought it was a joke. And then Vince turned around and said, yeah, this man bought like 3,000 tickets for my charity game just to make sure it was full because he wanted to beat Magic Johnson. So, yeah, fuck you, Bob Myers. You shouldn't be on TV. And you're definitely a Raptors hater. And you're somebody who's fucking on the inside on the media against our team. So, Bob Myers, fuck you. 2-finger salute for you this morning, motherfucker. And Nav saw that shit. I'm sure he did. Just like a lot of people saw your cackling little sorry bony ass sitting behind him when Vince recognized our super fan for his generosity. So, yeah, fuck you, Bob Myers. I'll say it one more time. 2-finger salute for you, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, Vince, not a bad speech. I love that you wore a purple suit. I love the interaction between you and Tracy. Hilarious. And talking about your family and the certain auntie who would just be causing a stir. Yeah, all this stuff was great. And yeah, of course, you saved the best for last, your mom, and you're going to talk about her in certain ways, of course. And it was very pointed at certain points in the speech saying that education can. Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of little things in there. It's kind of like, yeah, Yeah, there are a little bit of jabs on sensitive stuff with Toronto fans and you, but it is what it is. And it is what it is. And you went in classy. And in some ways, you did a good job. And once again, it does go a long way that you're inducting yourself as a Toronto Raptor. That does go a long way with me. So seriously, Vince, you did a good job on Sunday. You're warming my cold heart towards you a little bit more. And we'll see if you do even more on November the 2nd when you come to the Scotiabank Arena and get your jersey retired. So you could really do a lot of good work for yourself with people like me if you do this diplomatically and you do it in a very, very kind of, I want to say, kind of humble way. If you can do it in a little bit of a humble way, that would be awesome because it'll mean a lot. I love that you brought up Lowry and you talked about Lowry in your speech. It was a very Raptors-oriented thing. Now, you did say that you were in your prime when you played for the New Jersey Nets. And I mean, I can't disagree with that to some degree. You were younger when you played for the Raptors, although I say you were better athletically when you played for the Raptors. But you were more, seasoned as a veteran with still having your athletic ability when you were on the New Jersey Nets. So I can understand why you would say something like that. But a good job covering all the bases of your career, the Tar Heels, Mainland High School, USA, Team USA, all your different teammates, and recognizing all kinds of different people. Hilarious to hear the story about you and Gary Payton with the hair on the Olympic team. Yeah, lots of good stuff in that speech, and it wasn't a bad speech at all. You didn't make us look bad in a lot of ways, and you were just fair. So, Vince, honestly, I'm gonna give you good grades on your induction speech, and I appreciate you for not going up there and taking cheap shots and actually coming up there in a way and saying something's exactly right. So I will say that. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor's here. Let's see what Trevor's saying. No matter how many times you break down, there's always a little piece of you that says, no, you're not done yet. Get back up. Have faith. Yeah, that's like Rocky shit, Trevor. You get dun 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 dun. When you get knocked down, down, down. You get up. That's right. That's right, Trevor. That's right. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying Scotty was on NBA TV talking about upcoming season. He had a lot of good things to say about all the guys. He really likes all of them, a group of really good guys. Well, I like hearing that. I like hearing Scotty big up in his teammates and saying that he's really happy with the crew he's got on the team this year. Well, let's go do something about it, Scott. And start tonight, even if it's preseason, it doesn't matter. We got to defend Scotiabank Arena against the defending champions, whichever version of the defending champions show up, whether it's Tatum and Brown or the second team like it was on Sunday. Either way, you need to have better pride in your game and who you are and the stature of what you're trying to establish in the NBA, because you can't show up like you did on Sunday and come and do that again. In some ways, you have a lot to prove. And in fact, I'm expecting this from Scott. If he plays tonight, that he will come out there and he will be a man on a mission. And that's what we all want. Raptors fans want this. You got, in some ways, you got to save face, my guy, because Sunday looked real bad, real bad. And this is why Trevor's saying this, because in some ways, Scott, you got knocked down. It's time for you to get back up, Balboa. That's what I'm going to say right there. Yeah. Trevor's saying Zach Edey had 23 points, 9 rebounds, and Bane 23 points with the win over Indiana. Yeah, that's fantastic stuff. In some ways, I really do like that Zach Edey is showing a dominance in the NBA already. Like somebody was saying last night on Twitter, there's not going to be many bigs that are able to slow down Zach Edey in this league because he has that kind of strength and size. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see Zach's career. And I wish it long and prosperous and healthy and on the Raptors down the road. How about that? Superfan Monique Lawrence is in the house. She's going to the game tonight. It's time to bring the vibes, Superfan. You ready to come down there and be the MVP for our fans down in the arena once again, Monique? I know you are. I know she'll be ready for the season. She's been ready all summer long. That's right. Good morning, Raptor Free crew, and happy game day. Finally, a game on home soil since the season ended. Let's go. It's preseason, I know, but still happy. It's joyous day for the superfan Monique Lawrence. She goes back to her favorite place to be, and that is the Scotiabank Arena and watching her favorite team in the whole entire world, the Toronto Raptors, play basketball. Yes, it's a glorious day when Monique is reunited with her favorite thing to do. And that is what's happening today. Mo, you go down there, bring the vibes. And you know what? If they win tonight, I'm going to say Mo helped it. It was because Mo was down there and Mo brought that energy. I know it. Smooth saying Jalen McDaniels got traded. Yeah, he got traded and waived right in the same day. Traded to the Spurs and they waived him immediately. It's bookkeeping moves. Smooth brown man. It's bookkeeping. They want to free up roster spots and free up money. And, well, he's just not worth having around anywhere. Sacramento probably saw him come in. And they're like, man, Jalen McDaniels, he could be a reclamation project. They saw him come in. He was aloof. He may have been a little stoned. And they were like, man, this guy's not serious about his life. He's a joker. Trade his ass to Sacramento immediately. Maybe DeMar DeRozan walked into practice, saw Jalen McDaniels and said, man, this guy's just not even serious. And it was like, yeah, he's got to get out of here. So they traded him to San Antonio, and the Spurs have waived him already. So that man is done. That man is done. Smooth saying, I guess Bruno has to show out tonight. Otherwise, he's gone. Well, he's got 2 more chances. He's got tonight, and he's got Friday against the Nets. But, yeah, he needs to show out. He should have been showing out this whole time because, honestly, Jamison Battle is showing out. Jamison Battle is showing out right now. And in some ways, he's ahead of anybody who's trying to make this team right now. Jamias Ramsey, maybe right behind him. But Bruno Fernando is not at the top of that list with those guys. No, he's not. Nins is here. Good morning, Lex. Good morning to you, Nins. Very happy to see Raptor Freak Nins in the chat this morning for a game day against the Boston Celtics in Toronto, downtown at Scotiabank Arena. Our only home preseason game. And, well, let's take it seriously. Defend the North. Come on now, Raptors. Get down there. It is Jakob Poeltl's 29th birthday today, guys. Happy birthday to Big Yak. So let's get a victory for the big guy in the center for us tonight from Austria. Happy birthday, Jakob. Actually, today's an awesome day for me. 3 very special, important people to me have their birthday today. And numero uno is my father. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you so much. And I miss you on your birthday. I wish I could be with you on your birthday. But happy birthday, Dad. I love you so much. And happy birthday to former co-host of the Kensington Variety VIP Club, Martin. Martin, my good friend, if you've been watching the community tab with all the crazy, goofy show stuff from 5 years ago when I worked at a convenience store in Kensington Market in the historic district downtown in Toronto, you would see my regular appearance friend, co-host the show, Martin, it's his birthday today. So happy birthday to Martin also right now, and happy birthday to Big Yak. So that's a triumphant trio of my dad, Martin, and Jakob, all October 15th birthdays. I love these guys. These are like some of my favorite people. Seriously, my dad is my hero. I mean, he's my favorite person in the whole entire world. And Martin's awesome, too. If you watch my old show, you'll see Martin on there. Hello, Lex. How you doing, Lex? What's going on, Lex? How you doing, Lex? Yeah, you got to see Martin from South Africa. He's on my he's on my convenience store show in the tab. It's really silly. But yeah, good to see Nins in the chat too. So we're saying Bruno is playing like he has a contract in Europe waiting for him. Ooh, man, don't get ahead of yourself. You still got a chance to make the NBA, Bruno. But, man, it's not looking good right now. It's not looking good right now. Seymour saying, I've been saying this for the last 3 weeks. We don't need the ex-Celtic, ex-Hawk, ex-Knicks, Bruno Fernando. Bye. See, Sheriff ain't signing off on Bruno Fernando either. Man, it's too bad because in some ways I was like, man, if we're not going to get Koloko back, we need to get somebody good. And we're like, Fernando, I don't know. In some ways, I don't think Fernando is it. I don't think he's it. Seymour's been saying that all along. Nako's saying he got waived. Damn, I thought he did at least okay for Philly. You're definitely right. He's not his brother. Yeah, he got waived. San Antonio waived him as soon as he showed up. They traded him. They waived him. They waived him right away. He's out of the league. That man is not going to be playing this year. San Antonio is taking out the trash for us this training camp. I think Malachi Flynn's about to get waived too. So I mean, Malachi and Jalen McDaniels out of the league by the San Antonio Spurs all of a sudden. Oh, San Antonio. Thank you, Coach Pop, for taking our trash out real quick. Yeah. Randolph saying, beloved Raptors freaks, most informative gang. Blessings. Do your stay away from people who act like victims is a problem they created themselves. Ooh, he's saying stay away from people that act like victims when they have their problems that they created themselves. That's a pretty good word of wisdom. In some ways, some people are helpless for themselves because they actually have things they could do to fix their lives or do things, but they don't want to do them for whatever weird reason. So they're not actually helping themselves. So they're just pity parties. And they're just trying to ask, oh, please help me. Please help me. Well, you're not helping yourself. You got to do stuff to help yourself. You can't just sit there and just be like, oh, woe is me. If you don't fucking like it, do something about it, is what I would say to these persons. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Randolph Phillips, and blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. This is exactly right. In some ways, oh my gosh. All right, Leo's words of wisdom from yesterday. There's more to life than making a living. Do not work more than you live. I love this word of wisdom from Leo Routens, the kid from Kiel, our great broadcaster for the Raptors. Because listen, seriously, there's so many people out there, and it's more and more like this because they make the rat race where you have to run it 24/7 with like 3 jobs just to keep up with life these days. You have to have time to live. You cannot live to work. You have to work to live and have that time really to yourself to really enjoy the things that you like. It's so crazy how humans and their time is commoditized by corporations and very, very rich, powerful people. And in some ways, if you can break out of that system in some ways and find your own life to be able to live it, time is valuable. And in some ways, we're busting our asses for what? For what is what I'm saying right here. So, yeah, this is a good thing. Leo's right. Don't just live your life to work. Make sure you're living on the outside also. And hey, maybe you do a job that feels like it's living when you're doing it because you really enjoy it. That's optimal. That is fantastic if you can get that. That is absolutely fantastic. Brian saying, what's up, Freak Nation? Here for the escapism since I just got let go from my job, full speed ahead for to the point. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Brian. And in fact, just on my comment just now saying about, look, maybe it's now, Brian, you could get the little more. Now, I do know our good friend Brian from To The Point, a great YouTube channel on Raptors basketball and other such great subjects, T.O. The Point. Give him a subscription. Has been working graveyard shift in the middle of the night. So, Brian, you now get to sleep during the night. That's a very big, huge plus. And I know you, my man, are a talented, smart, incredible person, that you are going to bounce back and you're going to find something better for you that fits you better. So, you know what? They're loss. And in some ways, your sleep's gain. How about that, Brian? How about that? Here for the escapism? Well, there you go, my guy. Let's look at the bright side of this. They didn't deserve you. And now you're going to move on to something even better. And yeah, you're going to get more time to work on your channel, which is a good thing for all of us. How about that, King Brian? There you go. Nako's saying, hope you're getting some EI, Brian. Good luck. There you go. Nako's looking out for you. Workers unite. That's right. Workers unite. That's right. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. Once again, Masai and Bobby made us realize how savvy they've been with recent moves. Yeah, she's alluding to the Jalen McDaniels news from yesterday. How do you make nothing into something? Well, ask Bobby and Masai, because they made Jalen McDaniels into something. And now he's just been kind of traded a couple times, and now, boom, he's out. Popovich is like, yeah, this guy is not serious. I'm sorry, you're waived. You are waived. I guess you can go be with your brother now and just kind of travel. Or are you going to go to Europe or something? I don't know, Jalen McDaniels. Either way, get more serious with your life. How about that? Get more serious with your life. That's right. Fiercey, always great to see you, MJ. Always great to see you in the chat in the morning. Seymour saying, Edie will be a Raptor in the future. His impact will be just like Gasol. Chip, baby, chip. There you go. I like that prediction, Seymour Pape. You know what? I'm going to give you a dunk for such a positive outlook on this. You want him to be like, you know, he's coming from the Grizzlies, just like Mark. So in some ways, there is some history in that relationship. 162 on the dunks for Seymour Pape. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Cowboys here. Good to see Bradley in the house. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Dap to you, Bradley. It was to be Brian. It was to be Brian Blair. What? Be Brian Blair? The Killer Bees? The Killer Bees are going to get you. Jumpin' Jim Brunzell and be Brian Blair, the Killer Bees. Let's go. This ain't Raptors related, but that 5'8" guard Yuki from Japan can ball. I was saying that this man does no look passes every which way. Yuki, little Yuki, 5'8". Yeah, very entertaining, very cool in some ways. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, I don't mind you bringing up that. That's not off topic. That's basketball, Bradley. You're good. You're good. Ta-da. That's right. Brian saying, laugh out loud. Told you, Lex, to check that out. Glad I wasn't the only one that noticed he took a shot at us. Yeah, I had to watch the whole thing. I only saw the little highlights from Sunday night. And then yesterday, I watched the whole entire one. There's a little bit, but it wasn't really like a shot. In some ways, he was very, like he said, honored. He was honored to play for us, whether we hated him or not. And he did allude to how much he was hated in Toronto by talking about his aunt fighting our crowd when he returned as a New Jersey Net. So, yeah, it was fair. And in some ways, you know what? He treated his part with the Raptors very respectfully. Because in some ways, Vince knows this. And I've said this the last couple of years. It's like, Vince, you left on such bad terms, but don't you realize you are nothing without your period on the Toronto Raptors in your career. That put you on the map. That distinguished you. That made you different. Because in some ways, you could have done that dunk stuff on a team in the States, and it wouldn't have gotten the same kind of phenomena because it would have just been another U.S. team. Because you were on the Canada team and because you brought them on the map in some ways, that is why it's even more special. So in some ways, it's like, look, man, your history is your history and honor it, just like DeMar DeRozan does, because you have to. And in some ways, turning a cold shoulder on our franchise for so long, just like Chris Bosh did, has not served you well. Now, Chris can get away with it because Chris never has to circle back and be okay with us because he is firmly Heat Nation as a Heat champion. So in some ways, Chris Bosh, fuck off. I don't give a shit. You'll never get your jersey retired in Toronto because honestly, we got a better four now. And, you know, that's the thing. You know, if Vince had won a championship with another team or he had more success down the road on another team, he would probably have turned his back on us, just like Chris Bosh. So let's not get it twisted. In some ways, he's coming back, and it's not really groveling, but there is a little bit like, yeah, I want to be okay with Toronto because I understand without the Toronto part of my career, I am not that impressive in certain ways. So there's a lot to it. But yeah, in some ways, I don't care about the shots. They're not worse than some of the shots he's taken at us in other places. And he showed due respect. And the fact that his speech was very Raptors oriented overall is fantastic. He thanked a lot of Raptors fans. He had JYD barking at him in the middle of his speech. And that says a lot right there. We love Jerome Williams. He'll always be cool with me. That's right. He never wasn't. That's right. Sheriff. That's right. Fiercely saying Bob Myers is trash. Not even a man enough to stay with Golden State and make tough decisions. Took the easy way out by resigning. Yeah, he was there for the heyday. And then as soon as things got hard, he took off. He's a piece of crap. Like you can hear him on the show when he's doing like he's on television being an analyst. You can tell he's a cocky piece of shit. Like you can just tell he's an asshole. You can listen to him talk and you'd be like, that guy's a fucking asshole. So yeah, watch Bob Myers on ESPN on a panel talking as an expert and listen to his bullshit. And he's very biased and he hates the Raptors. And I think part of it is because we fucking took that championship from them in 2019 that they all expected they were just going to cruise to. Yeah, fuck you, Bob Myers. You didn't win in 2019. We shut down Oracle in a fucking loss. And we fucking won our championship in your arena and closed your building. So, yeah, fuck you, Bob Myers. And fuck the rest of the Warriors owner group at that time. Pieces of shit trying to do something to our GOAT, Kyle Lowry in the middle of the game. And your fucking sorry-ass fucking police officer, racist piece of shit that got in the way of Masai Ujiri coming on the court at the end of the game. Yeah, what a fucking horrible fucking top of their organization to have a fucking racist-ass cop, a sorry-ass owner pushing a player around on the sideline, and then a fucking piece of shit named Bob Myers as the GM at that time. Yeah, fuck all them. Fuck him. He's pissed because he lost a ring to us, and he'll always hate Toronto for that reason. So fuck you, Bob Myers, for you fucking laughing at Nat Bhatia. What is this, racism that you're laughing at the Indian guy in the turban in front of you because Vince Carter not brought him up? What is that? Seriously. You can even explain yourself because you're caught on live TV right behind him. And honestly, Bob Myers, I guess Nat Bhatia is more important in the NBA than you are because he's sitting closer to the stage than you, piece of shit. Yeah, cook him, Lex. Yes, I did. That's all right. Cowboys saying, let's go, Raptors. This is game day, baby. Let's game day, baby. Let's go down to the arena, baby. We're in Toronto, baby. Yeah, Scott Foster's here, but who cares? Let's fucking get something going. In some ways, our goals as a Raptors team are not necessarily the W. It's about getting better. It's about teaching. It's about showing these guys how to play basketball in the NBA better and better over time with guidance and getting through the mistakes and learning. So in some ways, we're on a totally different tip than we have been in other years since the championship. We are trying to rebuild and we're trying to learn again. And in some ways, it's a different kind of journey. If we fuck around and get a W, hey, I'm all right with it. But honestly, who thinks we're going to win tonight? I don't know if we will. Maybe we will. If there's a reality that comes to true that has us winning tonight, hey, I'm all for it. But in some ways, that's not what I'm looking for. It's not Ricky Bobby, winner at all costs. In some ways, I'm not texting Steve every day, just win, baby, because I know that's not what the plan is this year. In some ways, just win may not be realistic because the Raptors may not have the chance to win in a lot of games this year. And so it's about development and seeing people like Shamshay and Carlson and Shed get better and better and better. That's what it is right there. That's right. Fiercey saying for the Spurs not to keep you, Coach Pop doesn't even want to work on that project. That's rough. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, this guy, I don't know. Maybe he got ruined in Charlotte. Maybe he got ruined in Charlotte. He was in Charlotte for too long and got too many bad habits in the Hornets, and he just can't come back from that. I think that's part of it. I think that Jalen McDaniels was in Charlotte for too long. You hang out in a bad team with a bad situation and bad things, you get bad habits, and all of a sudden you're just not fucking working hard enough in the league, and you're out. And I think that's what it is. I will blame the Charlotte Hornets organization for ruining Jalen McDaniels, dropping the ball with him in development, and just giving him bad habits in some ways. Yeah, Trevor's saying, I'm watching you and catching up on paperwork today in my office at home. Look at that. Trevor's actually doing what a lot of y'all do, is working while you listen to me. Now, Seymour may be on a forklift, listen to me. But Trevor, he's in the office doing his paperwork while he's listening to me. That's cool, Trevor. Well, I'm glad you're back from your European vacation, safe. And hopefully things in Florida are okay after all of the storms recently. That's right. Cowboys saying eye candy. He's laughing at eye candy. Masai, what a trade he made for McDaniels. I know. It's beautiful, Cowboy, isn't it? We got two great dog defender guards for nothing. For nothing, obviously. Because like, what is Sacramento getting out of this? No, they just continue to shed salary by moving with Jalen McDaniels in different ways. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They wanted us to help them with Vishenkov, getting him shed off their salary. Well, Masai's a G. He's saying, yeah, motherfucker, you ain't coming to play? You want to go play in Greece? No, we're not paying you nothing. You're going to take this contract and crumple it up. And you could go back and play your beloved Greek fans who are talking all kinds of crazy trash on social media to try and get you back. But you ain't getting jack shit from the Raptors. And that's why I love our team president, Masai Ujiri, because he plays hardball. And he is not a punk. He doesn't take that shit. Yeah, not just saying they kept Malachi. They have him right now. He's on their training camp roster, but that doesn't mean he's guaranteed. He's kind of Bruno Fernando right now for them. Naka. He is on their training camp roster right now, Malachi Flynn, but he's not guaranteed. That's the thing. He's not on a guaranteed contract. So he has to make the roster. And in some ways, well, we'll see if he does or not. Maybe Pop says, oh, yeah, I can do something with Malachi still. Maybe he does get to keep around. But I'm very seriously thinking they're going to cut him and that he will be one of the people cut out of training camp by the Spurs this right now, coming up this week. Yeah. Fiercely saying, absolutely, Cowboy. Masai is him. Well, these are the little things that casuals will not pay attention to. But this whole thing with Jalen McDaniels and what he got flipped into is amazing. It's honestly amazing. It's magic. It's Masai magic. And, casual sports fans in Toronto may be like, Masai sucks. He's cooked. He hasn't done anything good in a while. Well, you're not fucking paying attention. You're not paying attention if you think that. Seriously. You're not paying attention. Randolph saying, Lex, I'm sending happiest birthday blessings of good health, happiness, joy, and contentment surrounded by love always. There you go. I love that. Happy birthday to Jakob. Happy birthday, big man from Austria. We want you to have a fantastic year for the Raptors, a healthy year, a great year of great stuff, lots of double-doubles and block-ups. Yeah, and happy birthday, Dad. Once again, I know he's listening. I love you so much, Dad. You are my hero, man. You really are. Seymour saying, rely on Masai. There you go. I love that. And Cowboys saying, alley-oop, eye candy, darling. You want eye darling? I'm guessing that you mean Fiercey, but that's a weird nickname. It's like eye darling. What is eye darling? What is eye darling? All right, we're going to give her a three-pointer. 227. You got 227, just like that great show with Sherman Helmsley, or back in the day. Wasn't that? No, that wasn't Sherman Helmsley. That was Marley Gibbs. 227. And Jack A. Yeah, 227. That's right. 227. Fiercely saying, sorry to hear that, Brian. Hope that things work out for you in future endeavors. Man, Brian's a badass. Brian's going to be fine. Trust me. That dude, I believe in that guy. And in some ways, he's going to be fine. In some ways, they did him a favor. Honestly, I've been hearing Brian talk about how he works the midnight shift overnight. When he comes and watches this stream, he's just about to go to bed because his job is a grueling overnight job. So in some ways, they made it done him a favor, honestly. And you can get something even better now, Brian. I know it. I can feel it. I can feel it. That's right. Blackhawk saying this. Good morning to you, Neil. Many companies are letting go of people before Christmas. It should be illegal. Yeah, you know what? Listen, and this will get back to my argument with Tom and why he's not here anymore. Is listen, rich people are not our friends. And people thinking, oh, rich people are our friends and stuff like that. They employ people. Yeah, a lot of them do. And the small business owners that are rich, they're fine. That's not who I'm talking about. And that may be why Tom got all upset, because he's a small business owner that has employees. And maybe he thought I was talking about him when I said rich people aren't our friend. Tommy, there's levels to this. There's the extremely billionaire rich people like Galen Weston that run our grocery stores and gouge us every day on everyday things we eat. And then there's people like you, Tom, that employ people and have them in jobs. And you actually kind of care about your employees and take care of them. I'm sure you do. But what I'm saying is here, it's like, look, they were not thinking about us in a humanitarian way. The social contract with the worker and the employer is not intact anymore. At a certain point from the 50s to the 80s, the social contract got broken, and they looked for every scheme and way to cut costs and corners and cut things for the people that work for them. And they screw us over left and right in all kinds of different ways, whether it's wage theft, whether it's not wanting to pay overtime. I mean, you can hear Donald Trump talking about, I would never pay anybody overtime because I hate overtime. That's the mentality of a lot of these fuckers at the top. And these people should not be in charge of having employees. If you can't pay people a living wage to work at your place, you shouldn't have a fucking business, is what I'm going to say right now. So yeah, you gotta pay people the right thing so they can live. And part of the problem is they made a system now where they can cheap out and pay people hardly anything, and we're all just struggling. A lot of us that are in the wage like level where you're just making an hourly wage. Well, who can live off of that? You have to have like 3 jobs now. So yeah, I agree with Neil that doing this kind of shit right before Christmas is fucked up. But all this kind of dirty ass stuff is happening all the time. And in some ways, the system's broken. And in some ways, it's going to get evened out and righted in the right way at some point. And, well, it may not be pretty. Let's just put it that way. Brian's saying at Fiercey, remember to DM me for you know what? What are you? Whoa, Seymour. Whoa. What is this about, Brian? DM me for what? What? Whoa. All right, we'll keep moving now. Yeah. Cowboys saying ref report. That's right. Scott Foster, Aaron Smith, Matthew Myers. That is our crew tonight. Smith and Myers, they're not bad refs. Scott Foster, infamously corrupt. Yes, we know you're corrupt, Scott Foster. We know you are. Smith saying, who cares about Chris Bosh, man? Honestly, his time with the Raptors are best left forgotten. Yeah, I'm with you on this, Smooth Brown Man. I am with you on this. But yeah, he's escaped. In some ways, he's never actually going to probably care about recapturing his Raptors anything. In some ways, he's a Hall of Famer. It's kind of interesting that he came in after Vince, and he got in the Hall of Fame way before Vince because he retired early because of blood clots, and Vince played the longest anybody ever played in the whole entire league ever, 22 years. So it's kind of weird that, Vince's last year with us, Chris Bosh was on the team, and in fact, Vince did thank Chris Bosh, Hall of Famer Chris Bosh, in his speech. But yeah, it's kind of weird that it's like that. And yeah, Bosh, he does not honor his Raptor ties very much. No, he doesn't. At least not overtly. Maybe in person, you could talk to him about his time on the Raptors. Maybe he tries to forget about them. I don't know. In some ways, Chris, you got to realize almost all of your stat building in your whole entire Hall of Fame career was in Toronto. You got almost all your major points and rebounds and everything was being the number one on our team in the time that you were on our team. And it's not like you're accumulating major stats on the Miami Heat after us. No, you weren't, because you were like the third banana at that point. So it's like your Hall of Fame career was built in Toronto. It doesn't matter if you say you're a Raptor coming in the Hall of Fame. You said you're a Heat player and going to the Hall of Fame. But in some ways, it's like he can turn his back on all that. It doesn't matter because he got the championships in Miami. But yeah, I'm with you, Smooth, on this. His time on the Raptors is best left forgotten in a lot of ways. I'd much rather remember his teammates around that time, like Jose Calderon and Anthony Parker and people like that. Because there are some bright spot people from that era of Bosh. But in some ways, Bosh is very much forgotten by Raptors fans. It's kind of crazy how much, because he was so important to our team. He was the franchise player for a while, that how much he's just an afterthought. It is, and it speaks a lot to how he handles his Raptors alumni status. Also, Naga saying my favorite Bosh moment was a game I was at where he shook his head at Gerald Green. I think Bosh is a nice guy. In some ways, I want to honor Bosch, but in some ways, I don't want to. Some ways, I don't want to. It's like the same thing. Like Carter's coming correct a little bit right now, and that's mending the fence. But Bosch, in some ways, he has some things he can mend with us too, in certain ways also. But he probably will never want to or have to because of his situation. He's just good. He's done. He's retired. He's off in the sunset. And he's best friends with Goran Dragic. That's all you need to know about that. That's all you need to know about that. That's right. That's right. Trevor's saying Masai got superstar trade from McDaniels. A superstar trade? Cowboys saying Scotty stats tonight: 20+ points, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals, and Raptors win by 7. I love that prediction, Cowboy. I'm going to give you a dunk for a great positive prediction. I hope that it's something like what you said. I really do. 159 for Cowboy, a 3-pointer. Yeah, I hope that you're somewhat right, Cowboy. That'd be nice. Masai Magic. There you go. Kareem saying, I hope Shed understands he is the main catalyst off the bench with his defense. I'm not seeing the same energy as a collective group as I did since the first game versus the Wizards. Once again, I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Montreal crowd feeding our players with an abundance of energy and just enthusiasm and loud noise. That is a huge part of it, is that environment was so conducive for our Raptors to get up and play at a high level. Well, let's do it again tonight. In some ways, I know this game tonight may not be that fully capacitated. And in some ways, it could be a very kind of lackluster crowd at the Scotiabank Arena. But hopefully, the people that do come down there come correct and cheer loud and hopefully can help our team with energy, because that's a big difference right there. Washington, 6,000 people in their 15,000 people arena. So not even half full in the game we played against Washington last week. And then, of course, Boston is sold out, and that's a very hostile crowd. Very, very hostile crowd. So tonight, we got our home team, our home crowd. And in some ways, we come correct down to the game. That'd be great if the fans would do that. But it's preseason, and we're not expected to be good this year. And who knows how many people actually will show up to our arena tonight? Who knows? I'm not coming. I normally come to the first preseason game. I've done that historically for the last 5 years, and I'm not doing it this year. I'm not doing it this year, Raptors. And in some ways, it is protesting Vince Carter's retirement of his jersey. So I would be there. Last year, I was there. The year before I was there the year after we came back from the pandemic from Tampa. Yeah, but not this year. I'm not there tonight. And in some ways, that's a difference. That's a difference. It's very different. Let's see. Kareem's saying, why did Scotty stop giving out hugs? I don't think that's true. I think Scotty still does hugs and stuff like that. I mean, it's just maybe they're private. Maybe they're with the girl from Guelph. Maybe it's just that, he's like doesn't want to be known as the hugger. He wants to be known as the guy who dunks when he looks back at people. I don't know. In some ways, that whole thing with Maxey, maybe it's like that became bigger than it should have been at the All-Star game. As far as like, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to hug you. He's like, don't you hug me. Don't you hug me. He's going, I'm going to hug you. I'm going to hug you. And then he hugs him. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's all kinds of different things like and tied into it. Maybe Scott's trying to image build. And he's like, man, I can't be just known for hugging. So he's like, man, I can't hug anymore in public, even though I love doing it so much. I don't know. Maybe he's hugging his teammates. Well, go to the game. Pay attention to him. Maybe he's sitting on the sideline. He's like hugging people, or like before the game, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll hug you. Here, Chris, let's have a hug. Something like that. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. Let's say, yeah, Brian. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Cream saying, I'm in support of universal basic income, where every working Canadian gets an additional $2,000 a month. I'm not sure what party supports it, but when I find out, I'll support them. NDP supports that. And, I'm pretty sure the Liberals would support some sort of program of UBI also. Yeah, it's actually makes a lot of sense. The countries in Europe that are doing really well do this already. It's so crazy how countries in Europe take care of their people so much better than we do in North America. I mean, they have like really good childcare kind of things, like as far as maternity leave and daycare services and free education. And there's all kinds of stuff. Meanwhile, over here, we're like cattle to the powers that be, and they just want to make money off us every single freaking way they can. If they could figure out how to charge us for air that we breathe, they would do that on this continent. Meanwhile, over there, the people in the government care about their people being healthy and happy, and they have services, and they may get taxed a certain amount, but they are seeing real results from their tax money in ways that are absolutely fantastic. And the UBI has proven to make society safer, smarter, better. And in some ways, our leaders here don't care about that if they're in the pocket of corporations and keeping the rackets going, the status quo of what's going on right now. Because in some ways, UBI would fix a lot. It really would. We saw with SERP what it did during the pandemic. And honestly, this is a great thing. Like, it's not that people will get lazy and not do anything. If you're able to feed yourself and have a roof over your head, that's great. And if you don't want more money, you have just enough to do that, then you can go into art. Like, you can become an artist. Maybe we have a renaissance of great culture because people have the ability to actually create art and still support themselves because of a UBI. Now, if you don't like just the baseline of money that you're getting from them, go above and beyond, get a good job and get a bunch of more money and buy the nice things that you want, like a yacht or a second house or stuff like that. It's not like communism. It's not something that says, oh, you just get this and that's all you get. No, it's helping the very bottom level of everybody. You want people to not be in your park in a tent? Get UBI. That would fix that. Seriously. And also getting the corporations out of the housing market would fix that also, because they shouldn't be buying and selling housing as a commodity. It's really, really fucked up. And that system is breaking it to the point where we have too much homelessness because nobody can afford affordable housing. So that doesn't sound like that's the point of housing, is to just get some guys, some jokers in the office, some extra money from flipping houses all over the place as a commodity. No, these houses should be built for families and people to start their families and lives. But we're missing the mark on what the point of some of this shit in civilization is supposed to be for. Yeah, UBI proves to work, and it's worked. Some cities do it on their own. Like, there's American cities that actually do UBI within their city, and they have dramatic successes because of it. Crime goes down, and people are actually going back to school, re-educating themselves, and getting better paying jobs because they can actually get the breathing room to go and take classes and still be able to feed themselves. So there's all kinds of good reasons for it, Kareem. I'd say the NDP, the Orange, backs this for sure. And I'm pretty sure the Liberal Party does too. The parties that are for the corporations and just want the status quo, or the PC party, yeah, they're not for it because they want their very rich constituents, the people that are giving them all the donations, the money to that party, to keep the status quo. In fact, if they have their ways, they'll cut the taxes on the rich even further, like Donald Trump has promised to do if he becomes a president once again this fall. So, yeah, let's not get it twisted. There's a side that very much is for corporations and the big guy and the very, very ultra rich. And there are other parties that are an alternative. So know which one it is. That's right. Kaz saying good morning, everyone. Good morning to Trucker Kaz. It's the week, so he's on the road. That's right. That's right. Mike saying JYD, dog pound forever. That's right. That's right. Where's my guy? He's up here. I got the little bobblehead up there. You can't see it right now, but I got my JYD bobblehead here. That's right. We love that guy. That's right. That's right. Kareem saying logical. That was the best part of Vince Carter's speech when JYD did his bark. Yeah, that was cool. And in some ways, he needed to mention Jerome because he didn't mention him in the original come around on the thing. In fact, I could analyze who Vince mentioned as a Raptor and who he didn't. In some ways, he kind of mentioned key ones that were kind of important, like Mark Jackson, Chris Childs, Rod Strickland. Those aren't normal like names to be put out for the Raptors in that kind of way. Now, Chris Childs was absolutely an amazing Raptor and some of the stuff he did for us in the playoffs. But Rod Strickland and Mark Jackson were here for a hot cup of coffee. And why would he mention them? And he did mention Jalen Rose also. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, he's going to mention playing with Jalen Rose. But yeah, there are a lot of guys he didn't mention. He didn't initially mention Jerome until after he barked at him. And where was Keon Clark? You didn't mention Keon Clark. I would maybe go back and look at all the people that Vince could have named, but he didn't. And maybe I'll be like, why didn't he name this person? Why didn't he name this person? I could do that. If I have too much time on my hands, I might do that, but I probably won't. I probably won't. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Monique saying Masai can't stop winning. I agree, Monique. I agree 100%. That's right. Sweden has it right. Smooth saying, yeah, Sweden has it very much right. I mean, this is the thing. When they do the happiness index, when they do the quality of life index, there's some countries that are just wonderland, amazing place to live, other than like where we're living right now. In some ways, Canada could be more like it. But we're in a weird place because like we're kind of in between Europe and United States, but we're being way too much like the United States. And that's the problem. We should not try to be like the United States here in any kind of way, whether it's healthcare, housing, anything that they're doing down there, the way that they have divisive politics that rip us apart. We shouldn't be trying to be like the U.S. in any kind of way. We should be trying to be like Sweden and Denmark and Norway and Japan and other places that are doing things better with their life expectancy, with the quality of life, their poverty, their unemployment, their homelessness. These countries are killing it in all these different categories. And meanwhile, we're left behind because we are fucking following the stupid leadership of American fucking models that are absolutely broken and proven to be broken over and over again. If we want to privatize healthcare in Canada, that's fucking the worst problem, worst mistake they could make, is because it's not like the U.S. healthcare system's working or right. It's not. It's if you privatize healthcare in Canada, that means that the healthcare companies will gouge us just like they do in the United States. And there's no price limits in the States and certain things. That's why they had to do things like put a cap on the price of insulin, because these motherfuckers and these corporations, they're greedy as fuck, and they will fuck us over with huge, crazy prices every which way they can if they are not regulated, if they're not smacked down. Then why would we want these kind of people to be in charge of our healthcare when our government was taking care of our healthcare here in Canada, free healthcare for a long, long time? Why the fuck do we want to pay for our healthcare like the Americans do? Does that make any sense? And one side of things, the PC party wants that. So I would say this: you voting against PC is a voting against having to pay for your healthcare, guys. Seriously, that right there is what it is, right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Brian's saying the giveaway, bro. Laughing my ass off. The giveaway. I don't even know what you're talking about. Listen. We need society. We're all commodities. We are people that can add to society and help this world be a better place. But if we're too busy struggling just to live and breathe, we can't be our best potential. And other countries understand this, and they get the best out of their people. Everybody should have a basic baseline of being able to live on this planet. We have to pay for our existence? No. In some ways, the plants, the trees, the animals, we naturally occur here. And it's only the convoluted, crazy-ass, greedy-ass designs of greedy-ass motherfuckers that make us have to pay to just exist on the earth. In some ways, we should be able to be feeding ourselves and taking care of ourselves, and being able to do that without having to fucking bust our ass like you do, Brian. Seriously, it could be a lot better. And we've proven it with certain things like the CERB, that we could do this way, way better. And honestly, this money is money that is being hoarded at the top, where these people, if they paid their fair share of taxes, it would fund the UBI. You wouldn't have to pay higher taxes. No, you would be getting the benefits of it. Most everybody would get benefits from it. And the people at the very, very top would hardly be hurt at all, because they have such a crazy abundance of money at this point that they've dodged paying their fair share in taxes. We would just be getting back what is rightfully ours all along. So don't say it's a giveaway, because it's just what they fucking stole from us this whole fucking time coming back to us finally is what it is, Brian. Right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Trevor's saying not everyone is fortunate to have their own business, but we all should try and work for ourselves so you do not have to depend on anyone. I agree with this. Absolutely, Trevor. Absolutely. I love this sentiment right there. Amen. That's right. Yeah, if you can work for yourself and be your own boss, that's fantastic. If you're self-employed, if you have a trade, if you're able to create something and be your own boss like Casey Bannerman, that kind of stuff is good in some ways. Now, if you're working for a company, well, in some ways, get a union started and start fighting the power for what is right and just for you as the workers working united underneath that company, because they will screw you over in every kind of ways. And it's only going to get worse. Trust me, because these motherfuckers are, you know what? They don't care about anything other than showing quarterly profits. In some ways, that if they don't show that it's so stupid, because they can't just expand profits over and over again every time. There's going to be some sort of writing up and down, and people get fired. And then they try and manufacture the illusion of profits by cutting corners. Maybe they take somebody's dental. Maybe they take overtime away from workers. Any which way they can do it to benefit the shareholders and show, oh, we did make a profit this time and this stuff like that. It's so fucked up. The system is totally broken. It's made up like Monopoly at this point. And it's like, it's not even a system that actually is right or just and deserves to be in place. It deserves to be destroyed because it is not sustainable. And at some point, people are going to find that out, and it's just going to get squeezed more and more. And who gets squeezed? The people like us, Brian, the people at the bottom, the people that are working their ass off just to try and feed themselves. And that's it right there. That's it right there. That's right. Smith and no John Thomas or John Wallace either. Yeah, I don't know if he did play with them initially when he first showed up. I think you're right. There's quite a few names that were not named, and maybe I will go look at that list. Maybe I will go to that list. Mike saying no Babcock. Well, he didn't mention the GMs. I mean, he did mention Glenn Grunwald. He did say Glenn Grunwald, but he didn't say anybody else. So yeah, why would he say Rob Babcock? That's not the kind of person he should have mentioned for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even want to mention Rob Babcock. God rest his soul. There you go. Smooth doesn't even want to bring him up. Blackhawk saying VC mentioned JYD because you saved the best for last. Remember, JYD followed Vince to Montreal for the retirement tour, so Vince mentioned him last purposely. I think he forgot him, honestly. And then JYD barked, and then he said, "Oh yeah, and of course the JYD." Of course, Alvin was there to see it, but he wasn't shown anywhere. I was wondering why they didn't show Alvin Williams. I wanted to see him there. Yeah, Mike saying VC said his name, then stopped so JYD could bark. That's right. That's right. Blackhawk saying, all I know, there's a European country that got rid of homelessness, so it can be done. Yeah. Yeah. This is the thing. We are a very rich society of plentiful things. There's not a scarcity. The scarcity is manufactured by the powers that be to drive people to work and drive people to feel like, oh, I'm in trouble. You know, if you're comfortable and you're taken care of, in some ways, they're like, oh, you're not a motivated worker where I can exploit to make profits off of your work. In some ways, that's part of the whole fucked upness of it. Like in some ways, the people that live in these countries that we're talking about have a very comfortable, relaxed lifestyle where they don't feel agitated or like there's something lighting fire in their ass to have to go, 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 go. That is the fucking power of capitalism on your asses to be like, yeah, you got to go do this. You got to make rent. You got to make your light bill. You got to make your groceries and all this kind of stuff. Whereas in some ways, it doesn't have to be like this. If they don't motivate you, then you won't go. And in some ways, that's what they're scared of. But the thing they don't understand is the human being is somebody who wants to strive to do cool things and create and do stuff. That we're not lazy asses. We could be not doing the jobs for them and doing incredible, amazing, productive things that actually really enhance society. In some ways, this channel embodies it. This channel is not something that I make money off of, but this is a service and something that's great in this world that I choose to do because I am able to do it because financially I'm okay. In some ways, if more people were like me and they were financially okay, who knows what you would do? Would you start a Raptor Street channel? Would you do something that you could do if you had more time and the energy not spent just running the rat race just to make ends meet? That's what I'm saying right there. In some ways, society and humanity could go further and advance further and have better innovation because people aren't just fucking chasing the fucking tail to make ends meet every single day. So it's proven in other places. Ingenuity and innovation is found in those places where people actually have time to sit and actually ponder and be creative. And meanwhile, we're running a rat race so hard, just so fast, we're barely able to breathe and stop for just a moment to just enjoy the flowers. So as I'm telling you, in some ways, we could fix a lot of things in this world if people would just slow down and stop running this consumer rat race that they're putting in front of us that they tell us we have to run. But I'm telling you, we don't. We don't. When you can figure it out, you figure it out. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. There we go. There we go. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Okay, Mike's saying he did mention Sam Mitchell. Yeah, he mentioned all of his coaches all in a row and then made light of it in some ways. Kareem saying Lex for prime minister. He's always for the people. Listen, I mean, seriously, I don't want to be prime minister, but I don't mind having some sort of voice on this channel, and that's enough for me. And in some ways, look, if the people aren't going to say things in sensible ways in other places, I hope that more people will say stuff like I do. And that's what I'm hoping for. That's right. Maybe some of the things I say on my channel today open the eyes of some of the people who listen to me, and they go talk to somebody else, and then information spreads. And that's how things can get changed, is that kind of way. It's a butterfly effect. Hopefully, we'll see. Blackhawk saying VC told JYD to bark. Yeah, it was cool. It's cool. I like that. Most saying Lex, Brian was referring to Fiercey's comment, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. In some ways, like I said, I jump from subject to subject so much. I have no idea what exactly happened. All right, Trevor wants me to do a classic card and the Instagram stories for sure. We'll do that. And Blackhawks saying the country found it easier to treat people with mental health when they have a home. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's really stressful to be in a tent in a park and when the temperatures are dropping right now. Seriously. And people will lose their marbles. In some ways, you cause more problems with poverty and this kind of stuff than you realize. So in some ways, you can say, "Oh, take care of people," is like why that's not fair. In some ways, don't be selfish. We should take care of everybody. And if we're really a Christian nation that actually follows the words of Jesus, then we wouldn't be living the way we are right now. Seriously, Jesus would not be happy with how society is right now. That the weak and the poor and the tired are out in parks in tents. And the schizophrenics are becoming more schizophrenic because nobody's coming to help them. I'm telling you, we could solve a lot of things with just a basic income and people doing it. And people say, well, they're going to spend it on drugs and stuff like that. Well, some might, but most of them will spend it on the things they absolutely need. Trust me, absolutely need. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying, pandemic was a horrifying experience, but the innovative minds of citizens to create small business such as arts and crafts, food, etc., all from the benefits of CERB, UBI would help Canada. NDP. There you go. We got a new NDP right here just because what I just said. Exactly. All right, let's do the classic card real quick, guys. Hopefully I get a classic one. I kind of want a classic one. I don't want a newer one. All right, yeah, this is classic. All right, guys. First person to write the full name of the person on the card will get the classic card points for today. Who is this? This is kind of easy. Am I covering his name? This is kind of easy. If you know the number in the jersey, it's probably too easy. Do we have a Nuggets fan in here that would know who this is? It'd be very interesting. First person to write it in gets a classic card points of the day. Who is that, guys? David Duncan. That is not right. Antonio McDyess is right. And that is right by Smooth Brown Man. We got the McDyess once again. Mutombo's teammate for many times in Denver. McDyess was an amazing dunker. Quite a good four. Very, very good scorer also in certain ways too. So I'm going to give Smooth 200 points for Antonio McDyess right there. Yeah. The face is tough to see. You can't see the face because it's behind the ball. He looks a little bit like Dennis Schroeder in that picture there. A little bit like it. Yeah. You know what? You did not spell it exactly. You spelled it right the first time, Smooth. You spelled it right the first time. Kareem did not spell it right. You spelled it right. You did. Yeah. Damn it, Ahmad Rashad is what he's saying. All right. Let me just write it in on the spreadsheet for. Oh, no. David's here. David's writing it in right now. Yeah, he spelled it right, David. Thank you, David. Look at that. David's in there. Who else is in there? There's another person in here. Turnip. Who is Turnip? That's a new name. That's weird. There's somebody named Turnip on the spreadsheet for our scoring. Who is that, David? Turnip. That's so weird. Anyway, I thank you, Commissioner of Trivia, David Saborin, for being here and doing the scoring, even if you're not in the chat. That's awesome. It's funny. Damn it, Ahmad Rashad. We saw Ahmad Rashad. He was the one who introduced Vince at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and he's got a bald head and a big beard. And someone's like, who the fuck is that? He looks kind of like, what was his name? Suge Knight or something like that. Like, what is Ahmad Rashad going on with his life at this point? Like, seriously, I know that he's not in the spotlight anymore, and maybe he's a little crazy or something. I don't know what happened to him. I mean, it's not inside stuff anymore with him. No, it's not doing kid shows, obviously. He looks like he's been living a tough life since. I mean, did y'all see Ahmad Rashad on Sunday? Seriously, go check out what he looks like right now. I know he's getting older, but in some ways also at the same time, it's kind of like, dude, man, something's off with you. I don't know. Ahmad Rashad, you're awesome. You're a legend always. Congratulations, Hall of Famer. That's what happened this weekend. That's right. Ahmad Rashad. That's right. Hell, hi, Turnip. Yeah, I don't know who Turnip is. David's going to tell me. It's probably Morgan. I shared the sheet with her. She helps me with the coding for the main sheet. Oh, okay. So Turnip is Morgan. And David is giving out some memberships, guys. Look at that. David's been a gold member for 14 months, guys. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. David, I appreciate you and your support for the channel. That's awesome, man. David Saborin is number one as far as the benefactor for my channel and helping me out. And I extremely appreciate it. David, all the stuff you planted in the yard, I'm excited to see what happens. Like, I saw what you did over by that tree stump and kind of in that one area with the wood chips. I'm very curious to see what you planted over there for next year. And yeah, I put together that other feeder. I'm not sure if I'll put it out in the yard. The feeder with the side stuff. I don't know if I'll do that yet. But yeah, we had today, Yesterday, it must have came with the weather dropped last night. It's like 5 degrees here right now. And yesterday, a whole flock of like 30 dark-eyed juncos showed up yesterday on the ground out in the yard, just picking and picking and picking. And I learned how to tell the male from the female. The male's very dark and kind of bluish, and the female is lighter and more grayish. And yeah, they're called a blizzard of juncos. That a flock of dark-eyed juncos, which is a form of a small ground swallow, is called a blizzard. So if you see a group of them, they're called a blizzard. And part of the reason why is the junco lives very high up in the north, and it likes cold temperatures. So you won't see them during the summer. And when they showed up yesterday, they brought the cold weather with them out here at the cottage. So yeah, a blizzard of juncos came to my yard yesterday, and that's pretty interesting. Let's see his starting five. He gave out some memberships. We got Mike in there. We got Bryce. We got Cowboy. We got Cool Cat, and we got Wayne. There we go. Okay, Wayne's going to play power forward. We're going to put Cowboy at the center because he's got some good height. Cool Cat is our point guard. Bryce, you're going to be the swing. You're the three. And Mike, you're going to be our two guard. You're going to be our two guard, Mike. All right. So, yeah, there's our starting five of memberships. Look at that list of Raptor freaks right there. That's an all-star five right there. I love it. Those guys, that's a great list right there. Kareem saying, dodge them, give memberships like a pro, as always, shaking my head. Well, you have one, Kareem. You're already on a membership. Your name is Green, my guy. Yeah, wicked starting lineup for sure, David. Dap. I'm going to give you a big 10-pointer, David, for a fantastic starting lineup right there. 269, man. To 69, my friend David. Ha ha ha. 269. Let's see. Smooth saying Ahmad Rashad played for the Vikings in the 70s. NFL guy. Yeah, he's cool. I like Ahmad Rashad. He's such a personable guy, and he was so fun. I always remember the day I was walking into Scotiabank Arena when I was working there, when it was the Air Canada Center, and the Jurassic Park was a parking lot. And I'm walking up. It's a snowy, wintry day, and Ahmad Rashad sitting outside Air Canada Center with Tracy McGrady as a rookie, sitting on the bench having an interview, and I'm walking behind them. And this is how I appeared on Inside Stuff. There's an episode with Ahmad Rashad interviewing Tracy McGrady outside in our parking lot at our arena like 25 years ago. And if you look in the background, you see old Lex walking behind them. And my friend in Florida saw me in the background on Inside Stuff behind T-Mac and Ahmad Rashad. He said, I seen you on Inside Stuff. And I didn't know. That's how I found out, because my friend JJ down in Tallahassee saw the episode. And he said, I just seen Lex behind Ahmad Rashad on Inside Stuff. So, yeah, I've got a bucket list. I appeared on Inside Stuff back in the day, 25 years ago, walking to work. I was wearing like a crazy toque in my leather jacket. And, yeah, I was going to work to come in to make the subs. And I just happened to come in and work while they're doing that interview out there. And you could see me in the background. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Let's see. Yeah. There you go. Cowboys got me on blast. I love it. Fiercely saying David and Morgan. High fives. High five. That's right. And Cowboys saying, thank you, Uncle St. David. There you go. Dap. That's right. Uncle St. David is an awesome guy. And Mo's saying, David, what's up? I'm seeing Jennifer tonight. There you go. Yeah, David saw Jennifer at the DeMar DeRozan book signing. And Mo's going to get her signed book by DeMar DeRozan when she goes to the game tonight. Above the Noise, DeMar DeRozan. That's right. And Cowboys laughing at Kareem. I'm not sure what Kareem did. And Cowboys saying, have fun to Monique. All right, let's do the Instagram stories real quick. Slim Duck saying, I don't know. I'm a C equals I ain't coming. That sounds about right. So if somebody says, I don't know, I'm a C, that just means they're not coming, just so you know. And that's what Slim Duck's saying. Ulrich Shamshay showing his guys, him and the Raptors in lineup during the Canadian anthems. Very stern, standing there with Grady and Oshai and Jared Roden. That's pretty cool. Like, I like that Ulrich is showing the pride of standing for the anthem and also being in a Raptors jersey. So you go, Shamshay. You are a future for us, and we need you to be as good as possible. JYD showing the part that we are just talking about in Vince Carter's Hall of Fame, where he tells JYD to bark, and then he barks. And, yeah, that's pretty funny. One thing about my brother, he's going to bark, is what Vince Carter said. There you go. He's going to bark. Jonathan Mobo, more highlights from him in the game against Boston on Sunday. He had a very good game in that game. And that pass to Chris Boucher where the layup was very fantastic stuff. So the connection between Jonathan and Chris and Scotty was evident in this game because of the stuff that was happening in transition. Also, he's putting on blast his shoe company, SeriousPlayersOnly.com. So check out Jonathan Mobo's shoe company. Serious players. They got shoes, y'all. Maybe you can get them. Kelly Olynyk's in a mood right now. His wiener dog is underneath the covers, and he's saying mood. It's cold, and he's just ready to stay under the covers. So is this you telling us that you're not going to play tonight, Kelly? That the back's still kind of acting up, and that you just want to snuggle up in the covers right before the season starts still in the preseason right now. And that's kind of what it seems like. Jamison Battle has got a man of the match here. It's a guy named Tyler Wall. He got 19 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists in, I guess, some sort of Australian league or some other league. But yeah, Jamison Battle showing his friend. Amari Moore is showing off that somebody, Darius Brown, has put pen to paper on his deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So a friend of his has got signed to the Cavs. Jamal Shed is saying, y'all better tap in. Y'all better go tap in. There's something, the Celebrity Mint. Jamal Shed drops on Thursday. I'm not totally sure what they're talking about on there, on that thing. Is that in Toronto? I'm trying to see where that is. Is that in Toronto? I'm not totally sure. No, that's not in Toronto. I don't know what city that is. It could be in Houston. But yeah, there's something going on there. Let's see. In a WNBA, President Teresa Resch is celebrating Canadians to play in the WNBA Finals. Bridget Carlton this year, Natalie Achonwa in 2015, Kim Smith in 2006, and Tammy Sutton-Brown. It's only 4 Canadian women have played in the finals in the WNBA. We got to change that. All right, there's your Instagram stories real quick. Yeah, some pride in the Raptors shown by our rookie Shamshe. I like that. Yeah. Blackhawks saying Ahmad Rashad used to be married to Felicia Rashad. They have one daughter who's an actress. Yeah, they got divorced. That's too bad. Yeah, I don't know the story there. I don't want to speculate, but I'm sure, maybe he was wrong and she had to leave him or something like that. I don't know, but they are not together still. But yeah, he was married to her during the Cosby Show. So like she was a huge star on the Cosby Show with Bill Cosby as the wife of Heathcliff Huxtable. And yeah, in some ways they were a power couple around Hollywood. Felicia Allen Rashad is her sister Debbie Allen, right? From Fame. And then, yeah, Ahmad Rashad. Yeah, they are divorced. That's right. Trevor's saying, I started yesterday going to the grocery store and picking one family and bless them by paying for all their groceries because lots of people lose a lot in the storm. Trevor, you're an amazing person. Holy crap. I'm going to give you a 10-pointer. Our commissioner of fun, Trevor J., is a humanitarian who is looking out. This is the kind of stuff Shaq would do. I've heard of Shaq doing this. Shaq will go to the grocery store and he'll say like, I'm going to give 5 families all their groceries. And he'll go do that. And in some ways, Trevor's just doing like what Shaq would do. He's going to the grocery store and he's paying it forward for some people. That's a beautiful thing, man. And I'm sure you're really helping some people out majorly, Trevor, by doing that. Wow, what an amazing man. In some ways, Trevor is somebody who's obviously wealthy and doing very well. And he is somebody who has a benevolent heart who's looking out and doing something like that. Trevor, commendable, man. Wow. That's a big deal, man. That's a big deal. Kareem saying the best way to extend your career is to never stay healthy, always be unavailable. You can play 30 games a season until you're 50 and collect lots of money on the way. That's what Paul George said. Is that a real quote or is that something you just made up for a joke? In some ways, this is something that I worry about. Now, when we were watching Scotty on Twitch, he was talking about Ben Simmons once. He's like, I don't understand why people don't like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is nice. He's a good player. He's really good. Okay, Scott, but are you missing the point on why people don't like Ben Simmons? Because the dude don't show up. The dude is a flake. The dude is just kind of getting money from the NBA, and he's not really coming and earning it because he's just stopped playing. So it's like, Scotty, don't let Ben Simmons be a hero to you, please. Because if that kind of action is any kind of way with you coming up where you're like, I'm paid, I don't need to play, like Ben Simmons is acting like, that's not the right way to be. Ben Simmons is not a hero. Ben Simmons is not someone anybody should try and be like in the NBA. Trust me. In some ways, yeah, if he's had mental health issues, well, he should be going about him like DeMar DeRozan instead of sitting there sulking like Arthur's sorry ass in weird, colorful uniform or outfits when he's sitting on the bench all the time for the Brooklyn Nets. So it's like, yeah, Scotty, he's not a hero for you. Do not try and be like Ben Simmons any kind of way. Seriously, that's what I'm going to say right there. That's right. David's saying, yeah, that's sweet, Trevor. You're a good guy. He really is. Trevor is a really, really good guy. Thank you for this chair, Trevor. Seriously. That's right. Cream saying, yo, Trevor, Jay, want to meet me at Costco later? All right, Kareem, you can get a dunk for that one. That's pretty funny. Trevor is in Florida, unfortunately, Kareem. So it's not like he's going to be able to get to you today. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, my guy. We're going to give Kareem a dunk for being funny. You're at 361, 361, 3-pointer for you, Kareem. There you go. All right, let's keep going. Cowboys saying 20-pointer for Trevor. Yeah, I gave him a 10-pointer. You want me to give another 10? All right, we'll do that. We'll do that. Tis the season for giving and looking out for each other. And in some ways, Trevor is embodying that. Trevor lives his life for Jesus, and he really does walk his life for Jesus in the right way. I really can tell. Fiercely saying, "Wow, Trevor, how kind of you. Times are hard, and many people are struggling. So this is definitely a nice gesture as it helped the family." We're saying he's doing this every time he goes to a grocery store. He's buying other people's stuff too. That's fantastic. Fiercely saying, "Scotty should not aim to be Simonized." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude, that's not somebody to look up to, Scott. You're saying, why does everybody not like Ben Simmons? His game is nice. Yeah, if you see it on the court ever, that's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, laughing at Costco. And Trevor J is a blessing. He really is. Commissioner Fun, Trevor J, we love you, man. We love you. All right, let me go through my tabs. I know there's something I want to talk about from ESPN this morning, guys. They have the top 100 players in the NBA ranking coming out, and they have the 100 to 51. And there are some people on here that we care about that are on here. Chris Paul, number 99. That's kind of interesting to me. Chris Paul. Al Horford is 96. That seems ridiculous, honestly. He should not be the 96th best player in the league. I'm sorry. That doesn't make no sense to me. Brooke Lopez at 93. That's ridiculous. Jonas is 91, though. Jonas Valanciunas getting 91. He was 99 last year. So he's gone up a couple ranks. That's kind of weird. Andrew Wiggins dropping from 54 to 90 on this list. Very, very interesting. Let's see who's somebody else we care about. Luguentz Dort is in the top 100 NBA players this year at 85. He was not ranked last year. Let's see. Where's our next guy? Fred VanVleet has dropped from 56 to 79. I don't understand that. How does Fred go from 56 best player in the league last year to 79 after an exemplary year for the Houston Rockets last year? That's weird that they put him at 79. So he's dropped 23 spots in the last year. That don't make no sense to me. They got Brandon Podziemski ahead of him at 78. Who the fuck made this list? They can put the rookie from last year that's got broken nose for the Warriors right now ahead of Fred. I feel like this is Bob Myers who wrote this. He's like, yeah, we're going to put that rookie, Podziemski, ahead of Fred. Fuck Fred. I hate Fred for what he did to us, taking that championship away from Golden State. Did Bob Myers write this article? Because seriously, that's messed up. How the fuck do you put Brandon Podziemski as being a more important NBA player than Fred VanVleet? This is ridiculous. There's Jaden McDaniels. He's number 77 on this list. Tyler Hero, 76. Dante DiVincenzo, 75. And Zach LaVine, 74. This is ridiculous. Some of these names on here. Austin Reeves, 72. Ridiculous list, man. Ridiculous list. All right, where's the next one I want to see? There's Brandon Miller. There's Kate Cunningham. There's Draymond at 66. Emmanuel Quickley, 64. They're saying Emmanuel Quickley is the 64th best player in the NBA, and he's 92 last year. So he's gone up. He's rose up. Quickley, still just 25 years old, took the reins of rebuilding Toronto's offense last season and will seek to build on a solid first impression, 18.6 points and 6.8 assists per game on almost 40% shooting from three over 38 games. Specifically, Quickley should improve from a couple of spots inside the arc, where he historically has been better than he was in that half-season stint with the Raptors. His mid-range and short floater range field goal percentages with Toronto is 29.6% and 37.1% respectively per Basketball Reference. Would have been registered as career lows. Well, in some ways, they're going to point out one little ugly part, but they did rise him up from 92 to 64. So we'll take that. He's right behind Chris Middleton and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Are you kidding me? KCP and Josh Hart. Josh Hart is a better player than Emmanuel Quickley. My ass. Caruso, 59. My ass. Kobe White. Come on now. He's better than Darius Garland too. That's so crazy. All right, I'm keeping on going on because there's RJ. RJ's at 53. Last year he was at 71. So they have RJ Barrett as the 53rd best player in the NBA. The 24-year-old Southpaw is coming off a career year statistically with personal best in scoring and assist averages, but also one that came with the emotions of his return to Canada via trade and the death of his 19-year-old brother Nathan from an illness In particular, Barrett, who enjoyed the best effective field goal percentage of his career with Toronto, 55.3%, was efficient from the 3 to 10-foot floater range and the 16 to 23-foot mid-range portion of the floor, where he shot 45 and 50% respectively, both personal bests for him. So RJ Barrett, 53rd best player by ESPN's rank in the league this year, right behind Franz Wagner. OG Anunoby at 51. He has risen from 67 to 51. It's that New York Knicks factor. All of a sudden, he gets rated higher, 67 on the Raptors last year, 51 on the Knicks this year. And that is it. They don't have the top 50. So Scotty is not mentioned in this article yet. He's obviously in the top 50. So we'll have to wait until they put out the bottom 50, 50 to 1, and we'll opine on that when we see it. But yeah, Emmanuel and RJ on there, and they're not in bad ranks, but it is insulting some of the people that are around them that are kind of like right near them. That doesn't make no sense to me. That's right. All right, let me see. Let's do a recap. Let me read some more comments, and we'll do a recap. And also, I have to talk about our fantasy Yahoo team, guys. Yahoo League. Yeah, that's right. Our fantasy Yahoo League. That's right. Scotty, Pascal, or OG on the list. OG was on the list at 51. Pascal is in the top 50, obviously, with Scotty, because both of them were not mentioned. Monique saying, W stream, W vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong. You go, Monique, to the arena and get down there. Hopefully your ride is on time. You get down there and say hello to everybody and all your friends. I know Monique has so many friends at the arena. It's like going back to school in the fall when you've been away for the summer. She's going to come down there and say hello to everybody and just have a fantastic time. And I hope you really enjoy yourself and you get your book from Jennifer and you just really enjoy yourself today at the game, Monique. That is just your favorite place in the world. I know it's one of my favorite places in the world also. And I'm always so happy to hear that you're down there. That's right. Fiercely saying, Lex asking who made the list. It's ESPN, Lex. We should not even be surprised about their garbage content. I know. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, some of the rankings in there. But at least our barbecue is represented in there. And that's about right. That's about right. If Grady gets better, he could be on that list soon. Maybe Jakob should be on that list somewhere, but maybe not. Fiercely saying, oops, spoke too soon. Kudos to IQ climbing the list. Yeah. IQ and RJ are on there. In some of the ways, the people that are right above them are kind of like, what? This person's better than them? No, not better than RJ, not better than IQ. Kareem saying, what number is Malachi Flynn? We can ignore it. He dropped 50 in a game and 72 in a summer exhibition. Yeah, come on now, Kareem. Be serious. Come on now. Cowboys saying quickly over Maxey all day. Can't wait to watch that matchup. Well, Maxey's in the top 50 because he wasn't listed just now. So, but yeah, I hope that this is true over time, Bradley, that Manuel quickly can surpass Tyrese Maxey as how good he is in the NBA. That could very much happen. Fiercely saying, have fun at the game tonight to Monique. I like that. And Trevor saying, God bless me so much. I can bless others. That's something I feel very strong in my heart. Now, this is the story of Trevor J., our commissioner of fun, is that, he's gone through tough times. He knows what it's like to not have anything, but he made something with his life. He kicked some ass, and now he's doing very well, and he wants to pay it back. And in some ways, he hasn't forgotten his beginnings and where he came from, and he wants to help other people, and that's what he does. And Trevor, you're awesome for this, man. In some ways, you and David are very similar in this kind of way. David told me when he was here last weekend that the reason why he loves my channel is because he really wants to help people that are doing something that he feels like is really important, and that he feels like it's important to give back to people and do all kinds of stuff. So him hearing about what you're doing, Trevor, well, that's amazing. And you guys, honestly, some of the caliber of people that come in here, they're so giving and so amazing. I'm impressed with y'all. Seriously, you guys are amazing. And I really, really, really appreciate that y'all spend the time with me. Seriously, I know I don't take that for granted. I really don't. Cowboys saying we're winning tonight, Raptors Freak. All right, Cowboy. That's the attitude. That's the right attitude, Bradley, for sure. All right, now real quick. Let me just talk real quick because I have finalized our Raptor Freak Fantasy NBA Yahoo League. Our draft will be on Sunday at 9:45 a.m. during the stream. We'll do it live while we're on the air. I've decided this year we're only going to have 16 teams. We're not going to go all the way out to 20. So I've cut it at 16 right now. I have added Jason Dukes, the original Raptor Freak Fantasy NBA champion from the first season we did this. And now we are complete with 16 teams, 4 teams of 4 in 4 divisions. And there are the 4 divisions from last year. We the North, 6 South, 100% Canadian maple syrup Western Division, and the Jurassic Park East Division. And I tried to put people in their divisions by geographics. Like, I know that some of y'all are West Side Toronto people. I know some of y'all are in Ottawa and in the eastern part of Ontario, and some of y'all are up north, like I am now. And some of y'all are down south near the water, and even Bryce, who's in Kentucky. So I kind of put y'all in your divisions by geographically where you are. So once again, in the Eastern Division, we've got for that division. Let me just look it up real quick. I'll name the divisions so you guys can see who's what. The Eastern Division is going to be. Hang on, where is it? This is where I can look at it. All right, the Jurassic Park Eastern Division is going to be HC, who got second in the league last year. HC, you're in the Eastern Division once again with MJ, Fiercely Saucera's team, and Meredith, the champion of our WNBA team, and Trucker Kaz. You're going to be in the Eastern Division. So, Kaz, you're with MK, MJ, and HC in the Division 1. Division 2 is We the North Division, and this is the Northern Division. And in this one, Cool Cat will be in the We the North Division once again. And Duke Rocks is in the We the North Division once again. I am also in the We the North Division this year. So I will be competing with Cool Cat and Jason in that one. And Andrew will be in our division also. Andrew with the Toronto Shamshays will be in the We the North Division. I was in the South Division before when I was downtown, but I've moved up north. So I'm in the We the North Division now. The 6th South Division is downtown people plus Bryce. Bryce Lawson, since he's in Kentucky, he is very far south, will be in the South Division with David and Peter Saborin and Cowboy. So those guys, those three will be in the South Division once again all together, and they will be added with Bryce this year. Now, this means you will probably play everybody in your division twice during the season, is what it is. And the divisions don't actually matter for playoffs or anything. It's just a way to break it up. The Western Division this year will be Ivan, otherwise known as Tobias Frost, Naco the Nacho, Amari Parsons, and Kareem. Kareem, you're in the Western Division since you're on west side of Toronto now. So, yeah, that's our 4 divisions for our fantasy NBA league this year. So be ready. Do some mock drafts in the next couple of days before Sunday morning, before we do the real draft live on here. And be here live. Don't auto draft. You want to be here to pick your players live. Trust me. You can ask Naco the Nacho. You can ask Jason Dukes. In the past, when they've done auto draft, they are not getting what they want. So pencil it in. Write it down. Sunday, 9:30 a.m. is the stream time start. The draft will start at 9:45. So be there or be square if you want to have the team you want. If you cannot be there, I highly recommend you put in your draft rankings ahead of time so that the machine knows what your proclivities and your who you want more that way. So there's the new divisions for our fantasy league, and the schedule is actually the schedule on the website now. That is going to be our schedule, the one that is in there right now. I'm not tinkering with it too much this year. I just kind of let it do an auto-generated one, and I was like, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. And that is the schedule. So you can look at the schedule, and everything on the fantasy webpage at this point, it is all set up the way it is right now. There you go. There's a little update on that, and I appreciate all 16 teams are going to be playing this year. Unfortunately, we did not want to keep 4 more teams on top of it because I wanted it to be a little bit more tighter, and hopefully we'll have a more competitive league as per what trivia commissioner David Saborin's wishes are, to not have so many deadbeat teams this year. So we need teams that are going to be active and playing and keeping up their lineups week to week. Okay? All right, there you go. This is a little bit on that kind of stuff from right there. There you go. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Fiercely saying sharing is caring. I like that. Cowboys saying later, Lex, let's go. And Monique saying, I'll be just listening to the stream that day, as you know, Lex. Good luck, all. Yeah, it'll be fun. It's kind of fun just to see who gets who and what. And remember, guys, there's a rule in our league that you can only draft one Raptor. You cannot have more than one Raptor on your roster. You got to make sure you just have one. So if you draft a Raptor, make sure you pick up the person you want when you want them, because you won't be able to get another Raptor afterwards. There's only a certain amount of Raptors, and we got 16 teams. And the 16 Raptors are going to get drafted on there. Well, you do the math. That means we're going very deep in the bench. And it could very well be the Cowboys getting Ulrich Shamshay. If not, Andrew, who's saying he's Toronto's Shamshay, is on there. So it could be Shamshay gets drafted very early when he should be for the quality and time that he's going to play on the court. Y'all reach on Shamshay. I'm going to be calling on y'all. Somebody drafts Aldridge Shamshay with their first pick. I'll be like, what are you doing? Cowboys saying, let's go South Division. That's right. 6 South Division. Downtowners is who you guys are, along with Bryce, because he's down in the South in the States in Kentucky. So, yeah, it's going to be David, Peter, and Cowboy are going to be in the same division playing each other. That's right. Cowboys got Shamshay all ready to go right there, it looks like. I love it. I love it so much. It's so awesome. All right, let's do a recap real quick before I get out of here and make sure I did get all of the different things I wanted to talk about today. I'm pretty sure I hit everything. All right, once again, I have no idea what the injuries are like for today with the Celtics. They're not really tipping their hat on anything. It could very well be very similar where they just sit all their main important players once again, but there's no real information yet. Could be that we're seeing Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Drew Holiday in them. It could be that we're not seeing them again. That the Celtics are like, yeah, we already seen them. We don't need them. We're going to continue to develop our young guys like Jordan Walsh and Drew Peterson, stuff like that. So I don't know what to expect. We could have premium Celtics playing against us tonight. It could very well be the same team that we played on Sunday also. So I don't know. With the Raptors, it's a little more clear. We know RJ's not going to be there. We know that Jacoby Walter will not be there. Bruce Brown will not be there. Emmanuel Quickley is day-to-day, along with Kelly Olynyk. He's also day-to-day. So it could very well be we get one of them back, but I don't think it's likely. I think that we'll see the same guys sit out also for this game from our side, that it Quickley will not return today. Maybe not Kelly either. And then on Friday, we'll hopefully see those guys come back then. Emmanuel Quickley will play one preseason game. Darko said that. But I don't think it will be today against the Celtics, just so y'all know. The referee crew is Scott Foster, Aaron Smith, and Matthew Myers. All three of them favor the Celtics, but Aaron Smith and Matthew Myers are not bad refs for the Raptors in the history of things. We know all about Scott Foster, though, just so you know. We know about you, Scott Foster. We know about you, man. You can't hide it. You can't hide it. All right, and happy birthday once again to our big center, Jakob Poeltl from Austria. He is 29 today, guys. So happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, Jakob. Happy birthday, and happy birthday to my dad. I'll say that once again also. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you so much, and I miss you. I hope that you have a perfect day down in Atlanta. I almost said Tallahassee. I don't know why I said that. That's right. That's right. That's right. Let's go. Kaz has got the spray paint out. Kaz, you're going to be rocking it in the Eastern Division. And Roger that later, family. All right, Cowboy. All the best to everyone. Y'all have a great day. Get out there and kick some ass. I'm going to work out today, pumping the iron to get ready for the Raptors game tonight. And hopefully the Raptors can do some good stuff. Listen, it's not about winning necessarily. It's about showing improvement. It's about development. It's about learning and learning more and more what it takes to be an NBA player with such a young squad with so many rookies. So that is what Raptors fans need to recalibrate themselves and what they're looking for this season. I wish we get lots of these. And if we do, that's fantastic. But don't count on it, is what I'm telling Raptors Nation right now. So let's see what happens. Maybe we do fuck around and get a win over the defending champions in our home arena here in Toronto tonight. I love that. I really would love that. That'd be a perfect birthday present for our big center, Jakob Poeltl. That's what I'm saying right there. Happy birthday, Papa Otts. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome, man. I love my dad so much. I love him so much. All right, guys. Everybody have a great day. Get out there and touch grass while you can, while it's still kind of warm. It's not really, though. It's kind of chilly up here. And let's just hope the Raptors win. Tomorrow we'll come back tomorrow and we'll react to the game just like we always do. Talk about what happened in between those lines in the 48 minutes of the 94 feet. That's right. Let's go, Raptors. And thank you, Vince, for mostly a pretty good Hall of Fame speech. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. In some ways, I approve, Vince Carter. So there you go, my guy. You're kind of getting back in my good books. We'll see if you can continue this with the jersey retirement in November the 2nd and even the time when you come back in February also. All right, let's go, Raptors. Let's do our best. Let's hold it down and defend the North. That's what we got to do tonight. That's right, Andrew. Game day today. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Thank you, Andrew. I hope you did too also. And thank you, Trevor, for being you, Trevor J. You're awesome. David also. You guys are awesome, guys. Thank you. Appreciate everybody. Let's go, Raptors.